Hey everyone, thanks for joining me for Behold the Lamb 28-day challenge. It's been amazing. And if you're just jumping on, you're not even sure what this challenge is, let me explain it to you because it's something that the Lord spoke to me really clearly. It's about changing the narrative. Darkness is everywhere and we're all beholding it because it's evident. But the Lord said to me, but who is beholding the Lamb? And if we don't learn to behold the Lamb, then we're going to behold sin. But beholding the Lamb, as in John 1, John said, behold the Lamb who takes away the sin of the world. That doesn't mean there's no longer sin in the world. It just means Jesus takes it away. So if we're beholding him, we're going to behold people differently. We're going to behold situations differently. We're going to behold circumstances. We're going to behold the world completely different. And what if we could change in 28 days our thought process and start something brand new that would last the rest of our lives, where we weren't ignorant to darkness? Paul said, I'm not ignorant of Satan's devices, but every day we beheld the Lamb more than the darkness. We know what Satan's doing, but what's God doing? Who's got the word of the Lord? And I don't know about you, but I'm tired of just hearing what Satan's doing. What's God doing? What's the heavenly solution? What is he saying? And that begins with beholding the Lamb. You won't have solutions to the problems that you're facing until you behold the Lamb, because in order to have solutions from heaven, you've got to behold the one who is. And so Jesus, the darling of heaven, we get to behold the Lamb who takes away the sin of the world. So I jump on here for 5 minutes every day and just share with you how I behold the Lamb in hopes to change the narrative. And then you jump on with me and go, Bobby, you're completely right. Let's change the narrative. Here's how I beheld the Lamb today. And you start looking for how God is showing up in your life in big and small ways. Today, I've got an amazing way that I beheld the Lamb. And yesterday it was different, and the day before it was different. I mean, if you're jumping on, and you can go back and listen to all of these, they're all different. And for all of you jumping on, it's all been different, which I love. The name of the game is consistency. How do we look for God in every situation? Well, I didn't see God today. It was a horrible day. Nope, God was there. Well, I didn't have time to see God because my day was super busy. God was there even in the busyness. That's what I'm talking about. If we don't learn to behold the Lamb, if our peripheral vision doesn't widen, we're just going to stay beholding what we're beholding and have narrow vision. And that's actually what coming out of Egypt, the name Egypt actually means narrow vision. And so come on, let's come out of slavery and have a peripheral vision that expands to behold the Lamb every day. All of you jumping on, I love it. Let me hear your stories. Your voice is powerful. Okay. Here's how I beheld the Lamb today. Thanks again for all of you jumping on. I see several of you and commenting. I beheld the Lamb today. It was amazing. This morning, I always just like, Lord, what do you want to speak to me? What do you want to say? What are you doing? Sometimes it's in an encounter. Sometimes it's in the still small voice. Sometimes it's in a word. All of that in the scriptures. Today it was unique, and I just feel like the Lord is just continuing with me. I don't know how else to describe it, but expectation, these feelings of favor, where I can see God is encouraging me to think on his level and to move to the edge of my seat and live life in expectancy. And I can feel God beckoning me for expectation. Remember, John sent his disciples to Jesus, and he wanted to see if the kingdom was advancing. And they said, are you the expected one, or shall we look for another? And I remember the Lord said to me when I read that scripture recently, if I'm not your expected one, you will look for another. And so I just felt like the Lord saying, Bobby, I've got the mercies of God are new every morning. I want you to wake up every morning beholding the Lamb with an expectation for newness. And I could feel that on me again this morning as I woke up. I felt God and beheld the Lamb in expectation. And I could feel it wasn't just me. It wasn't just optimism. It wasn't just prophetic optimism. It was literally the hope of God. Listen, if we don't have hope, it's not God. And if it's not good, then God's not done. So how are you beholding the Lamb today? I want to hear your story. Always, thanks for jumping on. But that's how I beheld the Lamb today, in hope and expectation. And it came through not just a feeling. I can feel God touching my emotions, raising my emotional quotient to believe him for greater things. God's healing you mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally, financially, in every way. And it usually starts with a hope and an expectation. Jeremiah 29:11. God knows the plans that he has for you, plans to give you hope and a future. Come on, let me hear your story, and let's behold the Lamb together.